everybody. I'm back from Ohio, and now I'm here with Matt behind the scenes of the Raritan Valley Hi-Railers. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good. So it looks like you're doing pretty good with this module you're working on here. So as you guys know, I do the behind the scenes with the Raritan Valley Hi-Railers. As he works on modules, he brings me in behind the scenes and show you guys, the work that he's doing. I know that there's a lot of huge fans of his work and the layout and the Raritan Valley Hi-Railers in general. And you do. I've gotten lots of comments how you do impressive work there, Matt.
Oh, thank you. Well, you put us on the map because I don't think anybody knew who we were until your video started.
So show us what you got going on today, because wow, I mean, there's just a lot to see here.
So this is actually some reused, some new. So this module here, this has been around for a while. This is the one that actually has the running water on it.
Okay.
We used to have for the Raritan Valley Coal Company, had the company store sat here. So this was where, remember that area that was behind the town of Bridgeton, the area was behind the thing?
Yeah.
This is the module that used to transition onto to get onto the main line. So obviously when we eliminated that, I eliminated this, took the company store off. That's actually on the DC Hi-Railers layout now. I sold it to them, but reused this. So built this new tipple. I like the operating stuff. So this tipple will operate.
Oh, wow.
It's got an actuator in there. So this will be for like single car loading. And that's where you load the coal into.
Wow.
This one actually operates. You saw that once. That's the one where the chute comes down,
yes,
and the door opens and that gets loaded through there. I'll probably never use this one just because it loads on the main line and I don't want to foul up the main line.
Right.
But it was just one of those, like, I want to see if I could do it. And then this, this conveyor, it comes off. This is independent so that I can break between the two. But I wanted to do like a harbor scene too. So the whole thing behind here is all harbor scene.
All right, let's get back here and look at that.
Got a car float here. So if guys want to play with, loading cars in and off of a car float, they could do that. But at the same time, if, I want this to be gone.
Oh, wow.
So the cars are back here. I can take this off. And then I have these that go here. So then this becomes Losie's lobsters. I just sit that there, and then you can see back here all the lobsters, all the traps.
Oh, yeah.
And then I made this piece where you see that hole in the thing.
Yes.
That goes. Obviously, this plug will be connected. It's just not wired in yet. So that'll sit, and that'll just sit here.
Wow.
It just looks like a maintenance barge sitting back here. And then this, all the lights, all lights and everything just looks like a.
So you can actually change the scene on it.
I can change the scene on here. Yeah, if guys don't want this, and I could just take that off. My goal originally was this was how I would switch cars on and off the layout. The problem is when this thing has 8 cars on it, it becomes too cumbersome to deal with. So I bagged that idea. As as I progress, I bag a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
And then you just got the car float here that's kind of cool looking, and yeah. So then this is an operating Lionel bridge.
Okay.
So you can play with that up and down. Leave it open. I didn't like, the old Lionel bridges all said Lionel on the side, so
yes,
I put new panels in here and so got rid of that, kind of little modification to it.
I like your boot, Lucy, too.
Well, this is the real good one here because it's Losie's lobsters. But then here he also it says Losie's got crabs. So when Mike saw that, he was like, thanks.
It's the humorous stuff.
So I just got to open up the door for you guys.
All right. In the meantime, we'll take a look at the Lucy 2 boat. He did really well with this. Oh my God.
So this is this I built a few years ago, the tipple.
Right.
This is the, if you remember, the chute.
Oh,
operates,
yeah.
and then you do the coal. And then there's another actuator in here that opens the floodgate to start loading the cars. So remember, I had the leveler, and I had the towers that did the smoke, so it looked like the silicone spray.
Yeah.
So I incorporated all that. So that's all here now. So this is definitely under construction.
All right.
So there's the leveler. So that'll go up and down with actuators.
Oh, so you're putting it in a building now?
Yeah. So I put it in a building. Like where they weigh it and everything, and then there's the towers, and then the smoke unit will go in that compartment there.
Okay.
And then this is where the cars come through from the car float. This will be a permanent fixed scene here, this part of the harbor. And then that'll actually have, that's what I was working on.
Wow, look at this. That is so cool. I love that container scene you put there.
With the little utility crane and little yard office.
I mean, what container did you use for that?
It's just one of the O scale, containers that you buy like the 3 at a time. So I just bought a container and manufactured it into a yard office.
That came out really nice.
And then this will sit here. I'm still working on this, and that'll just look like, it's where they load barges at.
Oh.
But this is removable.
Okay.
So yesterday I was working on all the decking and everything and the pilings for this harbor scene.
Yeah. I'm so glad I get behind the scenes because sometimes you change things so much, so often.
So quick.
Yeah, so quick. Yeah, because, I think I've only gotten maybe that and a couple of shots, the sprayer.
From when it was, it only made one show.
One show,
I remember when it was at that show, I couldn't even fully set it up because, when Greenberg started shrinking us down, so that's why I've changed all this. So that now, this used to be kind of off the main line. Now it's on the main line. Now, it's 20 inches away from the edge, so people will be able to watch the cars being loaded, be able to see everything closer. So it actually works out a little better.
Right.
But that's kind of why this all got modified. But this whole scene now is only on 3 mainline modules. So I can fit in everything that I've shrunk down. It's just when we're smaller, I can make, I can set these things up. Like a perfect example you'll see today when you go to the museum where we're set up. The diesel engine facility is on one end of the layout, and the steam engine facility is on the other end of the layout. Because we're only 20 foot wide. We're 60 foot long, but the room is very narrow, and so we still have a nice size layout, but those 2 engine scenes, remember I built those modules the shape of the switch.
Yes,
so they come in off an angle. So when you see it today, it doesn't crowd the inside at all, but you got 2 really cool facilities on either end. So it's kind of the reason I've shrunk these down.
Yeah, it looks really good. I see you either stuck with the white or you had a lot of white.
I bought 2 boxes of it. So
because I remember we talked about that the last time you accidentally bought the white.
Yeah, it's fine. It actually works out, and then you can kind of let me see. But anyway, the actuators are in here that operate this.
Okay.
And then I've got a little. Let me get that out.
Wow.
Because I've got little office scenes in there that I'm going to create, and then this guy at the weigh station. So I've created these will be little tiny vignettes here, but then you're still hiding where the actuators that make the leveler go up and down are.
Well, it actually works out because the offices would be white on the inside anyway.
Well, I'm still gonna do probably do some type of paint and maybe do like a wainscoting or something.
Yeah. And for those who are, because I know we do sometimes some repetitious talking, but this is Gator board, correct?
Gator board, I get it from Uline.
Right. And then the wood planking, you're
so I used to get from Micromart. Micromark has stopped carrying a lot of stuff, so I'm actually going back to Northeastern Scale.
Oh yeah, Northeast. Yeah,
and
yeah,
buying
that's
it
right.
direct. And the nice thing, they just started carrying a new product.
Oh, they did.
Well, it's not. It's new widths. So, like, remember most of the stuff was offered in just the 3.5.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So now they've started offering it in 6.
Oh, nice.
So it makes, like, I did that whole big dock thing there with one piece. So it makes it, a lot quicker, a lot easier.
And for people who want to attempt to do this, what are you using to glue the wood together?
I just used
because I see it and it's so seamless. Oh, it's the Cure Hobby Tools. There you guys go.
Yeah, so this, I mean, you can buy this online direct, but he sells it direct too at the Greenberg shows, the tool guy.
Yeah.
He's got it there. It's not cheap. I mean, unless the container is, $35.
Oh, I know the tool guy you're talking about. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Yeah, he's there. He's always in Allentown.
Yeah, he was just at the, actually he was in Ohio too.
I think he is from out there somewhere.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, I think he travels when he comes here.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, no, he's at all. I mean, I think he was at when I went to the Timonium. I think he was at that show.
Yeah, he was at Timonium.
So,
but I'll take a screenshot of my video from Ohio and I'll throw it up in here so you guys know who it is because his name escapes me. For good reason, because this is like my 5th week out here.
Yeah. It's IB Tools or something. It's 2 letters in Tools.
Yeah, but
yeah, I buy a lot of stuff from him. I mean, it's pretty much the only person I can buy from at the shows anymore is a tool guy.
And the gator board, you're just hot gluing together.
Just hot glue.
Yeah.
I use a little bit more of an industrial glue gun, so it just puts out, so it just holds, but a regular glue will hold together.
All right.
I just like the gator board because I can really, like, I cut in these 2 holes after the fact because I wanted to do some type of little inspection areas. So it's easy to modify and work with. And it stays, you can see, I mean, these things have been sitting in the trailer for a while. It stays very stable.
Yeah. And are you still getting your parts like ladders and stuff from Tichy?
So the ladders and the railing stuff, they come from Plastruct.
Plastruct, okay.
The windows and doors come from Tichy.
Tichy, okay.
Yep, no, he still has it. He adds new products all the time.
All right. Yeah, because I know new people don't always see the older videos, so that's why I always bring up the same things in every video in case there's somebody new. And Matt,
LEDs still come from Evans. Miniatronics is still my incandescents.
Right. Now these fine details, are you creating, or are these Tichy too, the round plates with the nuts on them?
Oh, where that's going to be, those are the motors?
Yes.
So that is a bead and then just a nail in the middle, and then I'm going to have a wire that comes out here and goes in there like it's the control wire.
Wow.
And those are going to be, simulating the motors of the conveyor underneath.
This is so cool.
As you can see, I haven't given that my black, the black wash. I give everything to make it look dirty.
Yeah.
I haven't done that to that yet either.
Right.
I just finished that up not too long ago.
Yeah, that looks good.
And then with that, I always start in the middle because, I want it light, but I need stability. And I could get it in multiple lengths. I always start with, these are the pieces that I use for fencing.
Oh!
These are spindles.
So that's pretty strong there.
Oh, very strong. I mean,
Yeah, I was
metal.
That was the first thing I was going to ask is, but now that you pointed that out, what this is, yeah, so that's definitely strong.
That's the core that I use for all of my conveyors. Because the nice thing, too, it's hollow, so I can run all my wires in there, hide everything. So, and I don't pay anything for this because it's usually leftover for one of my job sites. Every railing section you buy always has 2 or 3 extra spindles.
Okay.
And then those are, I can get that up to 16 footers.
Oh, wow.
For if you've got like one piece that's got to come all the way down, you can buy it.
Right.
Or sometimes you buy long lengths and you cut your own spindles.
Yes. And I'm checking out this little boat here.
So that little tugboat's actually
that's
from.
I've never seen anything that small before.
So it's a little utility tug. I always take pictures of everything.
Oh, it's a utility tug.
Because people tend to not believe things exist.
Right, right. So let's get a pic. Oh yeah, look at that. That is so cool. So yeah, it really does exist.
Just like you'll see at the show today. Because I'm actually, believe it or not, me, running trains. I haven't had, so it was like Christmas when I unpacked my trains. I haven't run a train at a show in probably 4 years. So when I remember I made that, it was a control car that was made out of a coal hopper.
Yes.
So it's the same thing.
Oh yeah, I remember
because
that.
there was a couple people last weekend said that never existed. I'm like, there it is right there.
There it is, yeah.
So Peabody Coal, because Peabody Coal went from mine to port, just back and forth. So they needed a way to push pull.
Right.
So, but they also didn't want to give up tonnage. So they took old coal cars, put a control cab on the front so that they could go back and forth. It was pretty ingenious. So, of course, when I saw that, I was like, Raritan Valley Coal Company needs one of those.
Yeah.
So that's where...
Usually when you think of control car, you think of a passenger car, not a hopper car.
Yeah, no, with that, they needed it for diesel, back and forth, because, there was nowhere to turn, thing round or anything. And it was very hard to push back from the mine with just somebody hanging on the car. So they wanted,
So you keep pictures on board just in case people
I keep
say...
pictures on board because, a lot of people look at that and be like, oh, that never existed. I'm like, no, that's a small version. So like river tugs. So the tugs that push the barges up on the Hudson look very similar to that. They're a little bigger, but that's all it was. It was just, it had the two big bumpers on the front. It had a winch or some type of a tow line so that they could continue, and then they could pull it in tight to the tug, and that just became they had a very powerful motor in them, and just high enough. This wouldn't do like container ships and stuff. This would just do barges. So the cab was high enough that they could see over the barge.
I'm looking at the name on here, Mary Kay.
Yeah, the Mary Kay is.
Is that anything to do with the cosmetology line of makeup?
The Mary Kay has to just do. There's a fishing boat, a few fishing boats in Belmar, and one of them used to be the Freddie Kay, who I knew the captain of the Freddie Kay.
Oh, okay.
So, but a lot of times there was a couple of them, so I just made the Mary Kay because the Carrie Ann. This is the Carrie Ann. That's my wife's first name is Carrie. It's not her middle name, but. Yeah, she wasn't happy about that. She goes, "Oh, great! I'm named after a bard." I'm glad she doesn't watch these videos.
Named after a bard.
I tried a lot of times to name things after somebody. Like there's, actually John's in the other room. John's here this weekend from Carolina, so I named the power company after him, Giuliani Power.
Yeah.
On Bobby's layout, I've got Stapleton Metalworks. His last name's Stapleton. So you try. It's Losi. I mean, everybody knows.
What was that one building that had that big long German name on it?
Oh, Schneppensiefen.
That's it.
So that was Hal's mother's maiden name. Yeah, when I built that building, we still have that, but it's not on the layout for this show. But yeah, that was when I built that building for Hal. He goes, "Can I want to name it after my mother?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So I said, "What's it?" He sends it to me. I'm like, "Oh my lord!" So that kind of dictated the length of the building. So yeah, Schneppensiefen. Yeah, you can tell she was German.
Yeah,
so, no, I mean, that's the cool part, to kind of name things after. Romaninsky Plumbing is another one on the layout, and that's after Fred Romaninsky. He was one of the founding members of this club, and he passed away a few years ago.
So you try to use names from real people or things?
Yeah, you try to, A, because it pays a little tribute to them, and B, helps them trying to think names of things. So,
yeah.
Because a lot of times, I'll go back and forth with Mike Losi. We communicate the most. And I'll go back and forth with him and be like, I need a name for this. And he'll send me some ideas back and forth. But this, I knew I wanted to name it Low Seas Lobsters, just because I knew I wanted to do a little play on words here with that. So there he is. There's Mike. Look, he's holding the crab.
Yeah, let's get the picture.
And all of these guys, so this guy's holding the buoy, all the buoys in here, the crab. So this came from two different companies. Model Tech Studio has all these guys. And then all the lobsters and everything in the buoys, I think, came from Mini Prints.
Mini Prints.
He's a newer company out of Canada. But they have some nice stuff. There's some really nice detailed stuff.
Yeah, I've heard of Mini Prints.
They had the lobster traps. But the crab traps, all these little crab traps, I made those.
Oh, you made the
Yeah, they're made out of that same mesh I make my fencing out of.
Oh, cool.
So all I did was make a template. I made this template, so it's a cross shape, but then when you bend, it gives you a square.
That's so cool. What happened with Shapeways?
So they're back in business, but they lost their records. So they don't have a library anymore. So you can send stuff there to be printed, but it's like they're starting over again. So you have to pay the setup fee, you have to pay this. So it's not, but this museum we're going to today, they have a thing there called the Makers Club. It's like $50 a year, or I don't know what it's a fee to join, but they have a really nice 3D printing machine. They have all kinds. They have like a little shop area. So if you can have the program, and I mean, like we have, a guy in the club who's an architect, so he can draw CAD things. We can actually go there and print it out.
Oh wow!
So that's another option now, and people are buying 3D printers at home. The problem is the program. You can download a lot of stuff off the internet, but some things you just need somebody to draw the program for it to once the program's in there, it'll execute whatever. But they if they're open today, you should go into there and just go take a look at a neat little shop. A good neat good group of guys in there, all very technical guys. Like I go in there and I feel dumb. But
so while we're talking about this museum, well, you want to go ahead and announce that's where you're at?
So we'll be there one more weekend. So we're here this weekend, but obviously this video isn't going to drop until after this weekend. So Memorial Day weekend's the last weekend we'll be there. So it's called the Info Age Museum. It's 2201 Marconi Road in Wall Township, New Jersey. It used to be the old Camp Evans, part of Fort Monmouth. So it's a museum now. And they have like a shipwreck museum there. They have a old radio museum, an old vintage computer. They have all kinds of. They have a really cool military vehicle collection. That's also the Garden State Model Railroad Club. They're an HO club. That's their permanent location. But we're set up there for the month of May. Next year we were hoping to be set up for 2 or 3 months. They have an exhibit space that's pretty decent size, but we can't be permanently there just because they use it for other things.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's like $12 to get in. It's just a really cool museum. They got old fire trucks there. They got tanks. They got helicopter. They got all kinds of stuff. It's neat. You can spend a day walking around there. It's open Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 12 to 5.
All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and check out that museum. That will be in a separate video from this one. And we'll see what it's all about and go through there and have some fun.
Yeah. All right, and then you'll be back when I'm hoping to have this for we're at York this year in October.
Correct.
So I'm hoping to have this ready. I got a nice long summer ahead of me, so I'm hoping to have this ready to.
Yeah, some people got confused, thought you were going to be there in the spring. I told them no, it's actually.
And then there was a confusion with the date of the fall one.
Yes.
I think the TCA made the mistake, so all of us just had to change our bookings for the hotel. Hotel was very good about it. I think they knew there was a mistake.
Well, there was a lot of back and forth going on with date changing between York and the Timonium show, actually. The Great Scale Train Show and York were like swapping around dates for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't know why they care. I guess they figure if somebody's going to one, that's going to be less than the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's set now. It's I think it's October 20th to the 25th or something. So we'll be there. I think we're setting up that Wednesday or Thursday, and then we'll be, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, goes till 2 o'clock. It's kind of like the convention was last year.
Right.
So yeah, we'll be there in October. Hopefully this is where this will debut. You can come out and watch me attempt to load some coal cars.
Do you know what hall they're going to put you in yet?
There was talk of the Purple Hall, possibly.
Okay.
Maybe the White Hall. No, they don't know yet.
All right.
But the nice thing is it doesn't sound like they're limiting us to size. I think they're letting us decide what size we want to be, because he said I got plenty of room.
Yeah, there's plenty of room in a Purple Hall for you, that's for sure.
That means I think we'll models have maybe 30 something by close to 70 feet.
Wow.
So yeah, we'll be in that. No matter what, we'll be a nice big layout.
Yeah, so just that alone would be worth going to York, guys. So make sure you check that out.
Because that'll probably be the last time it'll ever be that size. So yeah, and there's a couple of guys like Jeff. I think Jeff just turned 80, so he's kind of said that probably York is it. So Jeff's the one that has the harbor scene with the tugboat and the that'll probably be the last time you see those modules, unless we get permanent space somewhere. Because Jeff has said he goes, I can't do this anymore.
Well, that's understandable.
We have plenty of modules to keep the layout a decent size, but and Aiden, who's young, is built. He built those really cool the tobacco farm.
Yes.
So they're actually building 2 more modules to kind of extend that scene. So we do have some new ones these are being done, but yeah, it's kind of sad when you see the old ones. Like I have a lot of people come up all the time. They're like, "You guys used to have a really cool train station scene." I was like, "That was Fred Romaninski's. He's dead, passed away. I don't even know where the modules are. I don't know if they got thrown away or that's gone. That station scene, because that's something we talked about. Like a future things is maybe doing a nice big station scene again, because people like station scenes.
Oh yeah, they do.
So that's there's still some stuff in the works for the future.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, sounds good, Matt. And thank
right.
you once again for a great interview.
All right, absolutely. Take care, Sean.
We'll
Thanks.
see you. Bye.